Hello mathematicians, puzzlers, and other curious people. In this video, we're examining the properties of 4 different repeating shape designs. This isn't the kind of thing where there's only one right answer, so you might notice different things from what I do. If you do, this isn't the kind of thing where there's only one right answer, so you might notice different things from what I mention. If you do, please let me know in the comments section or your class worksheet. Here's pattern A. One thing I notice about pattern A is the tiles in the pattern are pentagons with 2 right angles. Because of those right angles, the pentagons are able to fit together in such a way that 4 pentagons make a hexagon. I've looked ahead, and I can tell you that pattern A is the only pattern with that property. Now let's look at pattern B. Although pattern B is also made out of pentagons, they're different from the pentagons in pattern A. One difference between them is the pentagons in pattern B have an acute angle, while none of the angles in the pentagons in pattern A were acute angles. Again, I've looked ahead, and none of the rest of these patterns have shapes with acute angles either, so pattern B is the only pattern with this property. When we look at pattern C, one thing I noticed right away is that pattern C is different from the previous 2 patterns in that it's made out of 2 kinds of shape instead of only one kind of shape. Because I already looked ahead, I know that pattern D is also a mixed shape pattern. However, pattern C has a property that pattern D doesn't have. Pattern C shows regular polygons fitting together perfectly without gaps. Now you'll see what I mean when we look at pattern D. Last but not least, pattern D is different from the other 3 patterns in a way that a lot of people find easy to notice. Although pattern D is also made out of regular polygons like pattern C, pattern D is different from pattern C and from any of the other patterns because pattern D has gaps between the shapes. We have a short and convenient way to say this. Patterns like A, B, and C are called tilings, while pattern D is not a tiling. If you're watching this as part of a lesson, you might be wondering which of these properties, being made of pentagons with right angles, having an acute angle, fitting together 2 kinds of regular polygons with no gaps, or not being a tiling, is the property I said I was thinking of. Well, it's time to be honest. I think all of these properties could be the answer to that question just about as well as each other. And like I mentioned, you also might have noticed different properties that could work. If this is for an assignment, make sure you write down your own ideas. Calculator!